Hi, it's Barry Smith. I go by Legal Bear on the internet. I just was bringing you, wanted to talk to you again about giving the IRS personnel a holiday or a new year like they'll never forget. And I wanted to make the theme of this video come from Isaiah 49:26, and what that says there is, I will make those who oppress you consume themselves in mutually destructive wars, thus eating their own flesh, and they will be drunk with their own blood as with sweet wine. And all flesh will know, with a knowledge grounded in personal experience, that I, Yahuwah, am your Savior and your Redeemer, the Mighty One of Jacob. And then from Isaiah 45:14, something that's pretty much the equivalent. Thus says Yahuwah, the labor and wealth of Egypt, which Egypt is a type of Babylon, which Babylon is basically what America is, and the IRS is like part of that, and the merchandise of Ethiopia and the Sabaeans men of stature. There was a guy who did a whole seminar about the fact that the people who work in the IRS are financed, directed, and controlled in whole or in part by a foreign entity, which is the bank and the fund for United Nations, and which is World Bank and International Monetary Fund. Okay, so men of stature, they shall come over to you, and they shall be yours, and they shall follow you. In chains of subjection shall they come over, and they shall fall down before you, and they shall make supplication to you, saying, surely the mighty Creator is with you. There is no other, no mighty Creator besides Him. And that's, kind of been the goal of everything that I've been talking about here. So let's get into that some more. One of the things I wanted to talk about was what's inside the argument source for the collection due process hearing. That's part of the IRS Terminator package. That's part of my biggest combo package. A lot of you have been sending stuff to the IRS. You call me up on the phone and say, hey, I responded to everything they sent me. And they never responded back. Right here, in part of this package is my research on silence is acquiescence. I did research and found out that the principle that silence equals acquiescence, if they don't respond back, that means they agree with what you're saying. And the courts have said that it applies to the federal government. So there's one of your issues to raise inside your collection due process hearing. Another one that I came up with, how about this? The levy statute starts out, whoever's made liable for a tax and neglects or refuses to pay. Well, you know what? If you responded to everything they send you, then how could that be neglecting or refusing to pay? I mean, it's like most of you said, well, if you say I owe it, then prove it. Okay? Section 1203 of the Reform and Restoration Act is also part of that. What it says, if they fail to follow the manual, that it could cost them their job. And I found a Treasury Inspector audit report that said that those have been on the decline. Complaints about people not following the manual or giving people their constitutional rights. Complaints about that have been declining. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's get them on the increase. And let's put some people in jeopardy for their jobs. Also in there, Section 7214, crimes committed by IRS personnel, that they fail to follow the code or make a false statement. Those are crimes. Let's get after them on it, and let's increase the number of people that are being prosecuted. There's all this wonderful authority in there. I've had people that after they bought this, they called me up and said, hey, this is a lot of good information in here. It was well worth the price. So this is a whole bunch of sources for non-frivolous arguments that you can make, including IRS, what they said already is frivolous, and then the rebuttals. Chris Hansen put together rebuttals for those. So you could actually say to them, hey, you said in the past this is frivolous, here's why it's not. And you can put that in your collection due process hearing. All right, so that's part of the deal. I called that the components of a poison bomb. Get your Freedom of Information Act request going, and find out what steps they didn't follow, and then turn around and put that into your hearing that, hey, crimes have been committed. Let's get going on prosecutions. And maybe take it a step farther. Send it over to the U.S. Attorney and say, hey, go get them. And then come back to the administrative proceedings and say, since I went to the U.S. Attorney, now you have to get off the case because I'm your accuser in a criminal thing, a criminal prosecution. All right? So those are some more details about, what's in that Terminator package. Now, let's go back over here and let's talk about the lien thumper package. If here's the way this works. If they filed a lien against you, they got 5 days to notify you that they filed a lien and give you an opportunity to have the collection due process hearing. And then when you go to request the hearing, there's a place on the form to check to talk about the lien and why it should be withdrawn. If you have the lien thumper package and you've studied it out, you'll already know the arguments about why it must be withdrawn, and you'll have Freedom of Information Act requests that will begin to prove your issue about all the steps weren't followed. And it's kind of crazy, to wait till the last minute. If you tried to say that you didn't have income, if you did anything besides just send them in, the money, fill in a standard form, then you should begin getting ready for these things in advance. Don't wait till the last minute. Stick this information in your head. Start it percolating. Give your subconscious a chance to work on the problem. And then when you're filling out the form and you check the box about why the lien should be withdrawn, you'll have some non-frivolous arguments going as to why that was the case. And this entire lien thumper package is part of this combination package. And look what's in it. Let's see if I can. The current statutes and regulations entitling you to withdraw the federal tax liens, including regulations setting forth mailing deadlines for notices of IRS tax liens. Internal Revenue Manual provisions on the processing of registered mail for notices of IRS tax liens. The Treasury Inspector General audit report showing 95% of property liens are procedurally defective. The sample demand letter to withdraw a property lien because of a procedural defect. The FOIA asking for the postal form the IRS is to maintain for federal tax liens. Cases discussing the IRS registered mail process, or a case. The Supreme Court decision IRS must follow procedure laid out by the law. Supreme Court decision saying deadlines are set by Congress respecting IRS tax lien notices must be kept. Let's see here. And there's addresses in there too. So that's all stuff that you'll get. That's normally $299, and that comes as part of this combination package. So I think you can see that we're starting to make some headway here on giving IRS personnel a holiday or a new year like they've never had before.